Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Sri Lanka Export Development Board, we warmly welcome you all for the 23rd webinar organized by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board. I am sure that some of you were able to listen the very important topics that we have discussed in the webinar series conducted by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board. Therefore, some of you are very familiar with this webinar series, I think. So moving on to the today's topic, winning confidence in international trading through quality and safety improvement. I'm sure that this topic is very relevant, timely, and very important to all enterprises in Sri Lanka. Not only the exporters, but for the other enterprises as well. We know it is very important, the quality, safety, and the certifications for international marketing of services and products. Especially to be competitive with the other supplying countries, we have to comply with the international compliance and regulations. So in that case, certifications and quality compliance is very important. So in the today's, that's why actually even in the EDB has recognized these certifications and quality, it's the importance of this. So under our national export strategy, we have a sector, we have a strategic objectives and a sector, national quality infrastructure that we are implementing from the EDB. That is to facilitate for the Sri Lankan companies to get these quality certifications and compliance. So if I am to highlight the key areas that today's resource person is going to discuss with you all, the concepts and the ways to improve quality, importance of the certification as a marketing tool, methods of building confidence in consumers through quality and especially safety, and very importantly, a new standard developed for assuring COVID-19 safety in the workplace. That will be definitely a very interesting to all of us to listen. Let me remind you the order of the presentation today. The resource person will do the presentation around 45 minutes continuously. And later we will have 5 to 10 minutes questions and answers session. So no need to mention again that you all are very well familiar with the webinar session. So if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A button in the screen to submit your questions. And we will try to answer your questions as much as possible. So let me introduce today's resource person for the webinar. This is Theruni Vijaysurya, Senior Deputy Director of the Sri Lanka Standards Institution and well known to EDB also. And currently she is working in the System Certification Division. She has been serving as a National Quality Award Lead Examiner for ISO 20000, FSC 22000, HACP RIPH UK, and also the lead auditor for ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 45001, and OSHAS 18001. Also a lead auditor for Sri Lanka Standards Institution. She also has served as auditor, consultant for cleaner production and water footprint at National Cleaner Production Center. If I am to highlight her educational qualification briefly, she is currently reading for her MBA in Human Resources at the University of Indira Gandhi University in India. And she is having postgraduate diploma in environment management from the University of Kelaniya. And also she was a graduate of the University of Kelaniya having an honors degree in bioscience. And she's having 2 diplomas, in one quality management and one in food quality assurance. So this is the brief about our resource person today. So I am not going to take much time. So we will invite Mrs. Teruni Vijaysurya to start the presentation. Teruni, over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Komaduni, and good afternoon, all of you. And thank you very much for the Export Development Board for inviting this webinar session. And it's a pleasure to be with you all today. And I think I must not take much time of yours, and we need to have this presentation regarding this how to win this export market or the international trading through this quality and safety improvement. So I need not to say that we are all the globe at the moment in trouble, and due to the COVID and the corona situation. So we have to anyhow improve our economy using this export market also. Local market doesn't work properly. Therefore, we need export market widening also in this scenario. So I will speak about this quality and safety improvement from the point of these safety and food certifications from this session. So the points I want to discuss is concepts on quality and ways to improve quality, how the quality improvement, and achieve compliance with global accepted certifications, and the methods of building confidence in consumers through quality and safety assuring, the COVID-19 safety in the workplace. These are the most prominent word today, COVID-19, and in not only in Sri Lanka, but on all in the globe. So we are also, I think the main word, the day word is for this COVID. Always we are having this topic in our day-to-day activities as well as our business scenario also. And there's another, the how to widen the global market through these certifications also will be discussed. And finally, the certification can be used as the marketing tool. So those are the points we are discussing today. And by the way, what is quality? So quality is, there are so many definitions. Some says that it's good or bad something. And another aspect is characteristic and feature of something. It's better for me and not for you, like that. And the degree of excellence of something or high degree of it. So you know what a quality is. So that is different for the general public. The quality is something, and maybe the profit gaining or the stakeholders or the investors, sometimes they do have quality in some other way, like that. It depends on the person and it depends on the situation also. As an example, if you want to cut a cake, so you need a small knife. You can't cut the cake or bread with a big knife. So that is it. That comes sometimes as fitness for use, fitness for purpose. So we need some items for that should be more suitable. So if you are having a pair of scissors, you can't cut the cake, no? So if you want to cut the cloth, the scissors is the idea. Like that, it depends on the situation as well as it depends on the personal basis. So for me, something is the quality, but for a child like maybe in 7, 8 years, his or her favorite food may be ice cream. So at my age now, that is not my choice. That's why the quality also, it depends on the person as well as it depends on the condition. So there are some more definitions. Fit for the purpose. So it should be fit for the purpose. If it is being used, that should be suitable. And it says sometimes conforms to requirements. If it is a standard or that certification, so the conformance to requirements is the ideal for that, for the quality. Sometimes for the management, quality is cost. Some management of an organization, sometimes they say that quality is cost. But some consumers, they say that quality is price. It is based on the price, like that. Quality is a standard, some say. Like that, those are the some concepts derived from the day-to-day use. Quality is an experience which, or quality is an journey we have to follow. Finally, the quality is delight the customer. Not the satisfy customer, but the delight the customer. As an example, you may have experience in more nearly before 20 years ago, there were some insurance companies, but they don't have these vehicle insurance policies like this VIP on the spot. So they don't have that kind of thing. We have experience in our old days that if an accident happens, we have to have so many days, months and years to recover that cost. So now it is not that. You have an accident at maybe within 5 to 10 seconds or the 10 minutes, there will be a person who are from the insurance and they take photographs and other things. Everything has been over, no traffic jam, nothing. So that is it. That is the delighting the customer. And sometimes when you are having an insurance for maybe for the premium for the vehicle, sometimes they send the message that your insurance will be lapse from this date. So this is the time, this is the high time for you to do the thing. Like that, there are delighting customers, things can be there. As an example, we will take a personal life example. We have all the houses have these television sets. So we are looking so many items from this television and news and other dramas, everything. So if the television is out of order, so we have to repair it. So until such repairing time, the person who does the repairing can provide another TV for you to use. So that is maybe additional delightness from the customer, right? The supplier gives some alternative television for you to use it, like that. And some accident repairs also, people also have that. They will give a vehicle. They may be having several vehicles, so they will allocate one vehicle for the person who has this accident until the vehicle is repaired. So that is the delighting of the customer. So earlier days we just satisfy, but now we can't remain only satisfied. So we have to have ways and means of delighting the customer for this kind of quality service or quality manufacturing. So as regarding these food related things, those are the parameters, maybe quality parameters. Taste will be one, color may be one, texture, odor, appearance, and safety. What about these electrical equipments? Safety and affordable price, energy saving, easy to use. That means for different products, different type of quality parameters are needed that we have to address during our improvement points. So when we are improving our quality in our processes, you all may be experienced that For any process, you need inputs and the outputs. And for that process or the activity, you have to apply controls over there. Therefore, if we want to improve the quality in a manufacturing process or in a service process, or maybe in your day-to-day life, if you want to have a cup of tea, so you should have quality inputs. The tea leaves should be quality, and the sugar, that also have to be quality. And the quality control, the water should be boiled properly, and we have to keep the cup of tea for some time to brew. So if not, it will not taste good, or else it will taste odor, right? That will not come up to your requirement. Then if you are using quality inputs, you will be getting quality outputs when you are only controlling the quality during the process. That is our day-to-day life. As an example, if you are manufacturing a tire, so you have to use quality inputs. That means raw materials and the methods and the people who are using, who are manufacturing, also have to be quality or adequate, competent people. So if they have, then the process have to be quality process. Then how can it be? So we have to control the quality over there. If we have to keep the temperature or pressure to some certain level, so we have to provide that. Otherwise, we cannot get a quality output or the quality tire after that. Like that, that can be the way to improve quality. So this principle, this process principle can be applied to the each of the processes you have, like that. So you have to apply these methods and see whether how the quality improves. That also improve your day-to-day activities even, right? So you have to have quality inputs and you will be getting quality outputs. If you are, when you are doing marketing, if you get the quality fruits and vegetables, you can have a better dish. If not, you can't have the quality product. And if you are getting inferior quality rice, so you'll be end up with the bad quality rice, like that. So you have to have quality inputs and the quality controls over the processes, and finally you will be getting an quality product. So that is the in a simpler manner how to improve the quality. When coming to the quality, there are accepted principles for the quality management. That means how to manage quality. What do you mean by manage? Manage means again the control. How the quality can be controlled is given as principles. So we will just go through it one by one in a brief manner. Customer focus. That means you have to focus the customer. If you are providing a product, so that if the customer refuses to take it, you will be not succeeded in the business. So first you get the customer requirements, and then you have to provide that requirement in a correct manner. Then comes the leadership. Leadership, without leadership, you can't achieve anything. So there should be a good leadership to pave the way to improve your processes. And engagement of people. Without people, the top management cannot have a business. Top management cannot have an organization. So engagement of people have to be there. There should be the gatekeeper or the security guard to open the doors of the factory or the office. Otherwise, if he is not there, we can't do this kind of activity. Nothing can be done without him. What about cleaning people? They also have to be there. Otherwise, they can't have these things in a proper manner. So all must have these requirements, and engagement of people have to be there. If it is a laboratory, you have to have competent people. Without competent people, you can't have this process in a quality manner. So the process approach, that's which I was speaking about in the earlier slide. Quality inputs, quality control, and gives the quality output. Then comes the improvement. Improvement means you have to have some kind of improvement in the sense of process approach, maybe in the profit wise, in the income wise, like that. You have to have some of the improvements during your processes, and you can benchmark other good organizations to improve your practices. And evidence-based decision making, that means you are taking decisions, but that has to be fact-based. So there should be, sometimes we take a decision based on the test report, like that. You have to decide that based on the evidence. Then the relationship management. Organization alone will not exist in the business. So there should be relationship with the suppliers, buyers, and other stakeholders. That also have to be there in this quality management principles. So the quality management principles are applied in ISO 9001 certification. That is for the quality management system certification. This is the model of this ISO 9000 standard, ISO 9001-2015 standard, and that speaks about the plan, do, check, action model. That is the Deming cycle model. So I will not elaborate on these requirements really. So you can download anything from this kind of thing. Then comes the food safety. That the quality doesn't speak about without food safety, or the without safety, that quality never exists. So if it is a food, the quality aspects will be safety. One aspect will be safety. If it is an electric item, as I mentioned earlier, the safety will be an aspect of quality. Therefore, the food safety also have to be there for a food. So there is a certification called Food Safety Management System certification. Right? This is the model of it. So it also follows the plan, do, check, action model. According to the process requirements, the organization has to do that, right? So the hygienic conditions have to be there as the prerequisite programs, or the pre-requirements for certification, that we call as GMPs, good manufacturing practices. We will elaborate in this in the next slide, right? So this food safety can be assured through these kind of certifications. GMP, that is good manufacturing practices, starting from the raw material up to the finished product. The process have to be taken in a hygienic manner. So that is how the good manufacturing practices come into scene. If it is a non-food item also, the products also have to be developed according to the quality parameters, as I mentioned about the processes, starting from the quality raw material up to quality outputs through the quality control. So the ISO 22000 is again a standard for the food safety management. FSSC 22000 is also another certification, and the BRC certification are those certifications available in the food safety. For this FSSC and BRC are private organizations, not globally, not the ISO standards. Those are private labels established by some other organizations. So what is certification? Procedures by which a third party gives written assurance. That means you are getting an assurance from an independent third-party body saying that your processes are conform to the requirements of this ISO standard or 22000 standard, like that. So the products are conform to these requirements if it is a product certification requirement standard. And when achieving these globally accepted certifications, those are in the latter part, there are certification requirements. So those are coming underneath. And on top of that, you may have seen SLAB logo and RVA logo. So SLAB means Sri Lanka Accreditation Board logo. And this RVA means RVA Netherlands Accreditation Board. Those are two accreditation boards available in the globe. Most renowned ones available in the country also. And I will come to the accreditation after certification. So there are so many types of certifications, ISO 22000, FSSC, like that, as I mentioned. So those are taking care of other aspects of the processes. That means food safety, they are having ISO 22000. For the quality, ISO 9000, 14,000 for the environment, like that, and get the accreditation from these two organizations. So there are so many global accreditation bodies. So they certify these certification providing organizations like SLSI for doing the correct job. So the certifications bodies also have a separate standard to comply when we are conducting these certifications. So the accreditation board seeks about these requirements during our auditing, on-site auditing, as well as documentary evidence auditing. Then comes the COVID-19 safety or the COVID-19 assurance from the certification. So SLSI has launched a certification scheme in late May 2020 for this COVID-19 safety. So that standard is an SLS standard, that is a national standard formulated by Sri Lanka Standards Institution to prevent the spreading from these organizational spreading from maybe for the government organization, maybe from a manufacturing organization, maybe from a service organization, maybe from a saloon, maybe from some other hotel, like that. Any organization may have the risk of this COVID-19 spreading at this moment. So we have as the timely concept based on this COVID-19 safety, we have developed a standard to assure how to reduce the risk from the COVID-19 safety. In these aspects, we have to identify the human contact, potential human contact points of the organization with all the stakeholders, starting from the employees, family members, consumers, stakeholders, all these investors, employers, and the general public finally. So we have to identify these potential points and identify the controls over there to reduce the risk. So in this assessment, we have to conduct a risk assessment based on this each and every activity which the organization performs. That is example, as an example, at the entrance, you may all have experience in now, maybe the temperature checking, hand washing, hand sanitizing, and 1 meter distance. When these things happen, that is at the entrance, that has to be there. So all these practices, where are they came from? They are came from Ministry of Health guidelines in Sri Lanka for the nationals in Sri Lanka. So the WHO is the global event or the global organization. They have raised some guidelines, and the Ministry of Health have incorporated those things and adjusted according to Sri Lankan scenario. And they have issued, recently they have issued a regulation, as well as earlier they have issued guidelines for each and every activity. As an example, when you are using a taxi, there's a guideline. When you are going to a supermarket, there's a guideline. If you are going to a boutique or a shop, there's a guideline. If you are going using public transport, there's a guideline. Like that, their control measures are there. So in this COVID safety, we are referring to that MOH guidelines, and that has to be followed as the control measures. So that is the basic out of it. And finally, if we are using these things, so we will reduce the risk to the employees within the organization and the customers who come to the organization and the suppliers who come to the organization and the consumers who buy your products or services. If it is a saloon, so the customers will take the service. If it is a taxi service, they will use the taxis. Like that, the services are there. And when you are having these products also, you have to have strict controls the reduce to minimize the risk from the COVID-19 safety. So at nowadays, we have received so many applications for these export orders. The export orders, the countries exporting are not allowing the money to these Sri Lankan companies to get some assurance from the COVID safety. So they ask for a COVID safety certificate. For the several companies who have providing these spices, they have requested SLSI to conduct these things as soon as possible to have that certificate, and without that they will not release their money for these orders. Like that, there has a requirement came into scene to assure how the people are assured through this COVID-19 safety in the organization to reduce the risk to the product or to the service always, and as well as the employees in the organization. That is the new requirement of this COVID-19 safety, and it's a voluntary certification scheme. We have launched that from late May 2020, and we have certified more than 35 companies up to now. And so we are in the process, and we are having more than 50 companies in the process. Why? Because due to the second wave of this COVID-19, they are very much interested in this requirement. So all these application and other details are also available in our website. So you can visit to the website and get the information related to this certification also. Then paving the way to widen the global market through certifications. So we have to have, if we are having the same practice, we will not improve. So you have to take challenges, and if you take challenges only, you will improve. Otherwise, you will be in the same position or the same status forever. So that shouldn't be the way. As exporters, as investors, as these economy building organizations, you have to take challenges, and that will be benefit for you, as well as it will be benefit you for the Sri Lanka, as well as it will be benefit for us as general public in Sri Lanka. Therefore, you have to have these market improvements through these certifications. So I will just discuss about what are the points we can discuss, right? So if you are having a certification, maybe quality, maybe, in safety, or maybe any other. So it will have a consistent products and services. Why? Because so if you are having a control over this, all the requirements, maybe quality inputs, quality control, then you will be getting an quality output. So if you have standards or specifications for the raw materials, and the controlling for the controlling methods, process controls, the temperature is this much, that has to be kept around this time, like that, you may have those things. And sometimes you may need refrigeration. Sometimes you have to heat them. Like that, you have to provide every resource requirements according to system procedures. Then you will be get a consistent quality product, right? That should be the requirement of the customers. So they want to have the consistent quality in the product. So during these certifications, applying of these things, better utilization of materials and resources also possible. That means the raw materials, when you are using raw materials, so you have to define what are the quality materials you are looking for. What are the quality packaging materials you are looking for? And what are the resources? You doesn't get a person from outside. You will recruit competent or more skilled persons to conduct these activities. So that also give you a better utilization of your materials and resources during the certification. And that also give the operational efficiency. That also comes through these quality controls. So if you are controlling the process in a proper manner, you will have that in an efficient manner. Then again, then as the outputs, you will be having this wastage and the cost. So wastage will be minimized. Why? Because for the quality management also, or the environmental management, we have to take care about the wastage. So we have to reduce the wastage and get the maximum output of the process. That is done during these certifications. And the most important requirement is meeting customer or the buyer requirements. This may have been experienced by you all the time, right? Not in national scenario, it is not prominent. Why? Because we don't ask what kind of products you want. But these export people, they say that we need spices with this nature. We need these shirts and other things in this sample, according to this sample. Like that, they are specifying their requirements. So through these certifications, we can control the process, use the quality products, and get a better output. That means you can achieve the customer or the buyer requirement to be fulfilled in a proper manner. Then, if that is the case, we can enter into new international markets. We can market our certifications to all the countries in the globe. That's why, that's how the organizations who are performing well in the export market is doing. So we have to visit these exhibitions and all these places where the exporters or the importers are getting together. So you can visit them, and maybe the internet you can easily get, and EDB also doing a good job through that also, finding these new markets in these various fields. So if you have the certifications, you can show them and market them there. And you can enhance the organizational image and also market opportunities. So if you are saying certified, so the third party will say that you are certified. That means the third party also assures that you are providing the quality product or safe product to the market. So the third party assurance also have an additional advantage for you to market your products. And improved staff morale and work environment. That comes in the first step. in the quality management, that is ISO 9000, there are things which you can improve. The first or the basic principle is 5S. You may have heard it, the 5S principles. So 5S is used most of the places where you can improve. So the staff morale also will be improved with a beautiful environment, with a properly organized environment. The process will be properly organized. No these garbage and other things everywhere. The process will be properly controlled, and sometimes these employees also well skilled and well trained, they do the correct job in the correct time. So the work environment also will be improved, and then the morale will be improved. The workers or the employees like to work with their in these organizations. And due to these certifications, you can increase sales, income, and finally the profit. And you can assure the customer's confidence from the third party assurance they are seeking. You may have heard these certifications that the school children also, they have been taught about these certifications. So they are looking for the certifications when they are going to the market. That means that at the childhood also, the customers have built up confidence on the products you are providing. So when you are achieving these globally accepted certifications, you can achieve those benefits from the globe. So if you are having these globally accepted certifications, you can definitely be on top of the business organizations in the world. So as I mentioned about the certifications, so the ISO 9000 speak about the quality, HACCP speak about the food safety, ISO 22000 for the food safety again, and FSSC 22000 is also food safety, and ISO 14000 that is caring about the environment, and ISO 45000 that is speaking about the employees' safety within the organization. The employees who are working in the organization have to be safe, and the safeguarding practices have to be there, use the PPEs and other things, and no accidents, so that no risks about that accidents. So that is taken care by the ISO 45000. And so 50001, that is for the energy, that speaks about the energy saving. So finally, we have to make the certification as a marketing tool. You may have experienced it already if you have any certification, and you may have seen other organizations, those who have these certifications, showing those things. If you are near this television, near this at the time of news telecast, you will be getting so many organizations doing marketing using this certification. The first person who got the SLS like that, the persons who have got environmental care like ISO 14001, those who have certified for quality like that, they are making these things as a marketing tool. So why not you? You also can do it. So better to try something. So these government organizations also providing the total government also provide these funding programs for these certifications also. As an example, the Ministry of Industries also at the moment also giving these kind of funding for the certification. So food safety certifications, we have found most of the people are going on that certification, and the 14,000 and the ISO 9000. So there are opportunities to get the service or the support from the government. So better to take them and use your opportunities in that area. So all the certification bodies also take this as a positive thing. So the certifications are there, then you will be getting the improvement through it. So when coming to SLSI, it is not good that since I'm from SLSI, I should speak some words about Sri Lanka Standards Institution also. So we are as the government body providing the certification and compete with the globe with the international accreditation RVA Netherlands and Sri Lanka accreditation from SLAB, Sri Lanka Accreditation Board. So we have competent auditors for most of the postgraduate qualified, vast experience in various field officers. So that is one asset. And the next asset is the biggest in-house audit pool in Sri Lanka, comprising more than 140 auditors. So we are having in our SLSI 140 odd auditors for providing these auditing services to the nation. And not only in Sri Lanka, but also in other countries, foreign countries like Fiji, Indonesia, Thailand, those countries, Maldives, etc. And we have the professionalism, you will have experienced that, and we will provide value addition for the improvement of the processes. And we do have the reliable auditing with the intention of upgrading the organizations into a higher status. So that is the requirement of the SLSI as a national standard formulation body or as a government body providing certifications. So you can join with us, no harm, and you can see these requirements and this everything in our website www.slsi.lk for further details. And thank you very much for you. And this is the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Teruni. Very comprehensive presentation and very patiently, very slowly you explain everything. I think it is very easy to understand your presentation. So I think if I go back to your this presentation, you also mentioned, I have some points to pick from your presentation just to comment. Actually, the certification as a marketing tool, you said that certification is using as a marketing tool. That is exactly yes. But nowadays we see in the international market, actually, number of certifications are coming up. I mean, it is an endless certification, sometimes private labels, so like that. So in that case, how we can face as a country like, I mean, we are not a developed country. We have our SME sector is 90%. So how they can compete with the international market with this current, I mean, with this situation, because the certifications are like sometimes behind these certifications requirements, some NGOs also behind. So they have some separate agenda also in the international market. But anyway, to compete with the market, we have to comply with all these requirements coming up time to time. So what is your idea on this? I mean, how we can face this situation?
Yes, Ms. Kumudni, and it is already there for this. I have mentioned the two certifications like BRC and the FSSC 22000. Those are private labels. So
Yes.
they are marketing their standard requirements, putting everything together. That means that standards have referred to the ISO 22000 standard or the ISO globally accepted standards. And they are taking one part from the standard, one part from the regulation, like that. They are getting some kind of requirements on their own and asking all the exporters to do all these requirements and comply with these requirements. I must say that those are very costly. So as an example, in the FSSC, we have to have a premium over there, 2 million or something as the premium for the certification body. Like that, for the organizations, they have to spend more than 3 lakhs on that certification. So the BRC also the same. So those are two examples taken from these private labels. So they are also making money through these certifications, and the poor exporter putting them in trouble. So I must say that actually the final thing will be the international organizations who are doing these kind of certifications and other there's a forum for IAF, that is International Accreditation Forum. That is the body at the top of the accreditation boards, and the link is the organization, then the certifying organization like SLSI, SGS and BBQI, like that. Then comes the accreditation board like RVA, SLAB, UCAS, and those are the accreditation boards. On top of that, there's a accreditation forum. So that kind of organizations have to have control over there. But the thing is that according to their rules and responsibilities, so that is not mentioned in their this purview. Therefore, they are not taking any activity, as well as the organizations or these countries like EU region like that. They also doesn't take much attention. Why? Because that is not a problem for them, but that is a problem for us, as Ms. Kumuduni said. So this is a big problem for the exporters. So one customer asks for ISO 22000, another asks for HACCP, another asks for FSSC 22000. In different areas in the globe ask for various kind of certification. How can the poor exporter can do everything? So it's in the big discussion at the moment, but anyhow, as the government organizations, we think that it is better to have some kind of maybe through the commissions or the high commissions or other embassies, they can have some control over there, as well as we can have the government to propose some funding programs for the most accepted certification programs, and that has to be implemented maybe as a loan or something for the exporters, then they can proceed with them. Hopefully that will be success, I think. So the thing is that it's always changing one certification to one certification. They are changing to make their money. So that is it. But we have to control that mafia. That is the first thing. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Thirani, where you have elaborated the answer to the questions very well. Thank you. And also, even I think that even the government is assisting to get these certifications for SME companies. Is it feasible for a country like Sri Lanka to have all the certifications, requirements within the country? Instead of having some harmonized method with the region, the other countries, so having some facilities, establish some facilities in Sri Lanka for some very expensive certifications. Do you think it is, is it feasible for a small country like Sri Lanka?
Yes, as Ms. Kumudini said, so the process is ongoing in the SASO region. This SASO has taken this, that is a regional standard organization. So they have already started for this harmonizing of these standards in the SAARC region. So they have found this common standard for these requirements. But the thing is that these requirements are for the Asian, so we have to try them for these other globe in the organizations to have those things accepted. That is the most important thing. So we can have harmonized standards for all the these certifications. So that is also it's a problem. So if as an example, when we are formulating these standards, we have to gather information during the literature review for other countries' standards. As an example, if you want to formulate or revise the coconut oil standards, so we have to gather information from all the countries who do have national standards for coconut oil. Like that, we are having at the moment also, they are having the SAARC region, we are having these harmonizing programs. So that has to be more strengthened in the globe to compete with this requirement. It is fully agreed, Ms. Kumuduni.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Ms. Teruni,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, our, the Sri Lankan companies, we find in EDB when the semi companies are coming to meet us, actually they are struggling with this certification. That's why this is very critical for us because, however, to compete with the other countries, they have to have the certification. So if we can maybe find a way of having these certifications with the less investment, like investment is another problem, yes.
Yes.
Always, yeah, for SMEs. So these kind of things, I think we have to have some more discussions how we can facilitate SMEs, this kind of thing. In fact, with this session also, I am getting some questions from the participants, like what will be the cost for ISO. So I think they are available in your website, isn't it?
Yes.
Anyone who want to know the process and the cost, you can see the website of SLSI. You can get the details. And also I got another question whether the small business obtained to this food safety certification is possible even for the small. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is possible for the all the small industries. The thing is that the government is already providing these funding program for certification and the documentation preparation, as we have mentioned about these funding programs in the earlier session. So.
Yes.
But the thing is that the small and medium people doesn't apply for that. We have experience as evaluators in these panels for this organization selection for certification. For the funding programs, most of the people are reluctant to apply for that. Then I don't know what is the reason behind, but the thing is that they may think that they will be have income tax problems or any more other regulations to be covered like that. No, so that would be the case. So you can apply whenever the government organizations have these programs, funding programs in the paper. It is already published in paper as well as in the websites of this industry ministry and export development board and the IDB, every place where we seen as the government organizations, we request you to participate in those programs and get the best thing out of it. And I have found some organizations where they have started from the good manufacturing practices. That is the basic requirement, also from the government organization funding, then go up to the ISO 22000 and the FSSC, like that. They are improving through the government funds. That is the way of getting the things out of it. Otherwise, you will be remain in the same place, same status. So any small person who is having a small shop even, almost be a supermarket or any small shop even, or maybe having a small manufacturing, maybe dessert manufacturing, like that. There are some organizations who have won this certification, small people who got these certifications. You can see these things, they are publishing those things in the television. So during, as I mentioned, during the news item type, So you'll be getting a whole lot of people who are small people having a big name in their market with these certifications. So try that and get the funds from the government and make it possible. And you may have heard that these COVID related economical problems, they are providing loans also. I have seen that most of the banks have published their in their these advertisements saying that you are giving loans for that, this and that. So it is better to use them and take the challenge, then you will be succeed any day. So we will help you, and the government organizations are behind you to help you and uplift you, and finally to uplift the nation of the Sri Lanka, as well as to get the income generated or the economy upgrading of the Sri Lanka. As Sri Lankans, we wish to have it, and please try to use these things, and please get the things done through that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Teruni. Thank you very much for comprehensive explanations. And also as a EDB also very well understood this requirement, and I think EDB also implementing number of schemes and programs to offer this like organic certifications, GMP standards, like time to time we also implementing this kind of programs. But as you said correctly, sometimes the response is very poor. Maybe I cannot understand, maybe the awareness sometimes is not enough, or maybe they cannot understand in their level the importance of this. So this kind of things are actually noted even during our this thing. So in that case, we have to tell our entrepreneurs, they have to be very vigilant. What are the opportunities they can get from the government institutions? What are the assistance they can get? So in that case, we will hope that this seminar will be helpful all these participants to get an idea. So thank you very much, Ms. Teruni Vijaysurya from SLSI for your time, knowledge, and the contribution. And also the participants, thank you very much for being with us. So we will wind up the webinar session today, and we will meet you again from another interesting webinar in the by next week. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome. Thank you, Ms. Kondini.
You have to say anything, Teruni?
Oh, no. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for providing this opportunity to have this kind of forum to discuss about this, our activities. Thank you very much once again.